This is a bit of a strange video I'm going to be doing. I am appending a taking a look at video that I put out a couple of days ago as of the recording of this. Yeah, apparently it was uploaded with misinformation in it. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I didn't know that video contained bad info because I recorded it. I left Indra to his own devices and then completely forgot about it. So, info on there that was put out there is info I didn't realize was bad until I put out the video, and then someone said, dude, they're kicking your ass in the comments, and I'm like, what? And I looked in the comments, and everyone is just like, you know you got this wrong, right? Oh, Atlas fucked up. Dude, this is fucked up and wrong. I'm like, oh. So, I owe you an apology, first and foremost. I didn't bring a ukulele, though I did play around with the idea. But yeah, no, that's on me. That's my fault. I should have maybe checked some more. Apparently Atlas still hasn't updated that. So Atlas Academy, if this is somehow getting to you, please change the wording on that, which is why we're on the fandom site today. So we're going to do a quick re-peek at what he does, and then upload this in that stead. If you want like the initial first impressions and everything, I'm leaving that video up. Silence, cat! And I am going to just like leave that as it is. But I did update the title of it. It now says that it's out of date. It's just wrong. So, you know, take that as you will. I'm going to leave, like I said, I'm going to leave it up just because, you know, commentary is nice for the sake of commentary. And people already don't like my analysis of characters in this game anyway. Apparently I don't make good decisions. I've apparently never had a correct opinion on any character ever, chat. Did you know that? That was a comment I saw. I've apparently never once been right about a single character. Which is insane to think about, because if you go and you look at the catalog of shit, damn, I say a lot of these characters are really good, and could you believe that they're really good? Crazy. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this anyway. That's pretty harsh. It's not only harsh, it's wrong. Anyway. We're just going to take a quick look. We've already seen the art. We're going to skip the art, though I am going to show off really quick his third ascension, which looks very nice, and his final ascension, which also looks very nice. It's very, very Paco. It's very Paco. I admire them both. They did just make him Indian Gojo. Take that as you will. Alright, so this is the skill that I fucked up. Apparently there's notes for this. Charges own NP by 50%, which is good. Grants self-on-buff activate for 1 turn. Charges own NP gauge by 10% when receiving healing or max HP up from regeneration of craft essences and codes. In other words, anytime this guy is healed, he gets 10% NP gen. Now, I would imagine... No, okay, that doesn't stack, I would assume. Somebody in the chat can correct me on that. I would assume it doesn't stack because it's going to... oh, except HP gen... Oh, you're so right. So you can't use a skill for this. But if he gets a heal, he gets the 10%. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. That makes sense. Already fumbled? Look. That's why I have chat. And a Yu-Gi-Oh player of all people is correcting me. And on buff, activate buff can also work by healing triggered by regeneration buffs such as Aphrodite's Grace or Wish Upon a Star. So he can actually, this is more useful than we thought it was before, which before I'm pretty sure it said that if like he decreases or has if he has his NP gauge decreased, he gets 10% back or some shit. Or if an enemy heals, then he gets 10% back or some shit, which was, like, weird and wrong. Yeah, Tiamat synergy is pretty real with that, because that's just a straight-up heal and more 10%. Actually, well, I'm not going to say he combos well with her, because they're different card types, but I could see that working. It was worded like shit. It was worded terribly on the Atlas site, which I'm still going to come to defend Atlas, because, by and large, they get it right. It's just they borked it once, so... I'm not going to hold it against them. It just happens. Miyu and Galatea's party healing still works for him, though. Good. Yeah, so there's still... It's absolutely a better skill than I thought it was previously, so... You know, it's more than just a 50% battery now. It actually has some pretty consistent... He gets to get his NP gauge more often. Second skill, which is the 20% rainbow buff, and then the arts and buster up, and then which gives him a quick buff, and then the quick buff is that when he uses the quick, he gets his own critical damage up by 10% for 3 turns when attacking with quick cards, activates first. The way how I believe this was worded before was that this was, once it was used, it was gone. And now the way how this is worded is that once it's used, it sticks around. So that makes it significantly more useful. Including the NP, yes. So that's good. That's, again, a better skill than I thought it was initially. Is he buffed? No. Atlas fucked up. And then third skill, increase on attack by 30% for 3 turns. Serpent or Dragon by 30% for 3 turns. Demonic for 30% for 3 turns. And critical damage for 3 turns. So then this crit stack stacks with this crit stack more consistently, which is good. And then his Heavy Drinker, he gets more healing. And then charges own NP gauge by 10% when receiving healing. Same thing as the other one. In other words, if he gets hit with, say, the Tiamat thing, he gets 20% NP gauge. On top of the Tiamat buff as well. Which is significantly better. The Alcoholism passive, I have that one. And then Star Gen up is good. He actually makes a pretty decent chunk of stars. And again, more critical damage. More critical damage. Divinity is still kind of shit. Riding good because he's a quick servant. And then on his NP, he has an HP up, so he gets that... He gets a 20% refund on top of the already existing refund from his kit, which is fantastic. Also, buff removal. So... The other thing I saw somebody say is that I don't look at internals very much. I'm going to be completely real with you. Internals do matter to a degree. In fact, they do make up a lot of what's going on with each servant. I think that when I'm looking at characters, personally, I care more about the kit, because if the kit is bad, the internals are not going to save them, with very few exceptions. Like, if your kit is bad, but you have amazing NP refund... then your NP better be the best goddamn thing in your entire kit, because otherwise I do not care. Just call it a difference in what we're looking for in a servant, as opposed to me being stupid. What internals means, that's all of this information right here. It's how many stars can they generate, how much NP do they get from getting hit, how much NP do they generate naturally from hitting with their cards. Death rate doesn't really matter, and Star Absorb also doesn't matter as much. But these are the big ones. Mostly NP, mostly Star Gen, and then NP charge from attack. Those are the things that are good. Those are the things that you want to be on the lookout for, more so. Also, he's a Lancer, so he has a better stab up. So, with all of this in mind, what we're looking at here is a significantly more well-put-together servant than I had initially thought. And so a servant that I had put into a C tier, I believe, I would absolutely bump up to an A. Now, I'm not going to put him into the S tier, even though I've seen some people say that he should be, primarily because I did a little bit of digging, and by that I mean I was recommended a post by Plushie on YouTube about how he fares against his direct competition, which is Britomart and... Bradamante, both of which are also AoE quick Lancers. Both of them... Well, no. I believe Britomart... No, not Britomart. I believe Bradamante outclasses him, for the most part, until Wave 3 of 3-turn farming, with the exception of when they hit NP5. If they're both NP5, Indra is slightly better. If they're not both NP5 and they're both NP1... It looks like, fucking Bradamante is slightly more consistent, though really not enough to matter. Or at least that's what I took away from that chart, which I could be completely wrong on. By the way, go check that out for yourself on Plushy's channel. Dude makes great content. But yeah, I'm going to bump him up to an A for my previous C. I'm going to once again apologize for the fuck-up. It was beyond my control. I didn't know, genuinely. I had not bothered to check to see if they... Why would I check to see if they upgraded a kit? Or if a kit was different? I've trusted Atlas up until now to be right, and they've been right up until now. So, I will take responsibility for it, though. That is my fault. I should have been more thorough with it. And if I led you astray by any chance, I would like to apologize. But hopefully this very short snippet of a video has maybe cleared things up a little bit. I think he's good. I think he's good now. Now understanding what he does and seeing that his kit actually has synergy within itself, yeah, it's a better kit. I still am not the biggest fan of this skill here. I still think that this one here is still slow. This skill as well, I think, is still kind of niche, but he builds so much crit damage up, and he can fire off his NP so consistently. He probably makes 3 turning like a fucking dream. Anyway, that's it for that. If you like this, go check out the rest of the content. Go watch my shorts or something. I don't know. If you're still mad that I fucked something up, send the hate comments. It's fine. You're well within your right to be upset. For the rest of y'all, though, thanks for hanging out. Peace out. Big love. Check out everything else. Come check out the streams. Bye.